Alright guys, welcome back today to Speed Sketch. Today I'm gonna sketch three characters, Wolverine, Hulk, and Captain America. I'm gonna go pretty slow in this video today because I want you guys to see that I'm not always like super fast sketching, but when I'm sketching stuff like this, I tend to do a very small drawing. It's called a thumbnail, typically smaller than this. We want to work through the small ideas and then I just turn it bigger and more detailed and more accurate. So let's get started today. So now for Wolverine, I'm not gonna make this drawing overly too large because bigger the drawing, more time you're going to do what? You're gonna take doing it. So I'm gonna draw Wolverine's head shape right here, right? Now remember, his head shape is gonna be broad. Now keep in mind, he's looking directly at you, frontal view. Also today, I'm gonna talk about expression, right? So when you're drawing faces and expressions, what you want to do to get a good idea of how expressions work is that you want to somewhat sketch and like look in the mirror and look at your own expressions. If you can sketch your face like in different angles, yelling and screaming, it may sound crazy, but it will certainly help you with getting expressions on your face and where things are in different angles. So that's something you can do if you want more extreme views and you want more difficult practice aside from normal. But if you're not sketching at all, and you're not on the sketching path yet, this is a great channel to get you started. And again, once you get started, you can, again, I highly recommend going out, finding things that you like to draw. If you like to paint, find a channel or something that you like to do and do that. I tell anyone if there's an art that I would love to do almost every day, not every day, would be pottery. That's just me. I like to make stuff and I like to see I can use it. I like plants. I like planting with plants. So this is gonna be like Hulk right here. I'm gonna make his neck like super large because you know Hulk is a big guy. I'm just gonna cut it off right there. So again, right in the middle again. Notice I give this here. This is gonna be the hairline. Quarter way in, hairline. Halfway, eyes. 3/4 of the way, we're gonna say the nose, and 4/5 roughly, give or take a few, it's the lips. But for Hulk, that, and because it's a superhero, he might be different because he's like, it's not even, he's more humanoid than somewhat human, I guess. So that would be a little different. So here we go with Captain America, right? Now I'm gonna put the shield here for dramatic effect. Right now, if I want to put like the shield, he's here with the shield, and maybe you have one hand on the shield. So you put like some fingers here. You can just sketch the fingers as rectangular shapes on top, right? And that's how simple this is to do. Right over it. And you could just put like this here, right here for the thumb. Now, again, how you do this stuff, more practice you have, better for you. But this channel will certainly teach you how to get like some tips and tricks and how to do certain things easier. You know, because like I always tell people, if I'm drawing an enemy, something I'm never worried about is the hands connecting back to the body, or hands at all. I just don't worry too much about it. I worry about everything else because that's like one thing you can do. That's pretty, I learned a few tricks along the way. All right, so I have all the base done. So the base is done. I'll put this little line here, right? I'm gonna say like this is a PowerPoint. They're making like a crazy collage kind of comic sketch. All right, let's get started. So now the first thing I wanna do here is I always wanna put those indicator lines, but the first thing always on the face is the nose. And always sketch the nose first. The edge of your nose is where what starts? The eyes. Right, now I'm gonna sketch a semicircle here, go across right here. I'm gonna double check everything to make sure they're what? Somewhat symmetrical, right? Now that I have that, I know I can just bring this down a little bit and I can squeeze this with a little darkened line a little bit to give that little effect on the eyes, like he's really angry. Now I'll just sketch a little semicircle in here for the eyeball, right in the middle, right? Now this is where you get your money shot, right? You get the lips. The lips are gonna be open like, right? You want to make sure that you're kind of like trying to get that feeling in your head while you're sketching it, because it will make it, I just think it makes it better. That's just me personally. You kind of get that feeling, right? So, and that will help. And now we just sketch the basic, like the canine is where I always start when I start with the teeth, because it kind of, after that I kind of know I have to go to the incisors around underneath this way. And you do not have to draw every single teeth. Even when people are drawing real faces, like for me, I don't draw every single teeth. Most of it is just values when I'm doing that. But in terms of comics, you don't have to do that. So what you're doing is you're gonna like leave it with detail. So that's just me. Now, different people may want to try different things. Now here, I have all the beard and all that good stuff. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna do like zigzaggy lines, connect them back out here like that. Don't overthink it. You wanna get the shape of it somewhat, but you don't wanna get it exactly like that, right? So you wanna get the shape. Same thing here for the hairline. You know his hairline goes like that, right? So we wanna get the shape of it, but we won't wanna get him like specifically. So that's something that you have to keep in mind, is you want to get the shape and not everything else. So there you go. So that's something I always tell people. I would like to get the shapes done before anything else. And guys, I'm using this new pencil because the last pencil kind of ran out of lead, and this pencil I'm trying for the first time. This is like a $4.99 pencil on Amazon. Not at all promoting anything, by the way, on this channel. I'm just saying this is a pretty good number, 0.3 mechanical pencil that I really like. Is it better than this one? I don't think so. It doesn't feel quite as good, but I've used those more. And this is $9 on up there or something like that, like $9.82, whatever. You may find it for varied range, but they're great pencils to use. I like both of them. I don't like to use 0.3, 0.4 pencils. I don't like to, I draw 0.7 sometimes, but I like 0.7s like for rough sketching. And again, like, yeah, if I'm working through an idea, I just grab a pencil, doesn't matter which one. So you notice I'm just going with all these wrinkles and details here, just trying to get the face detail down. So my number one thing is sketch everything, then go back and detail later. Sketch everything, go back and put all the little details in later. Want to make sure that things are in the right place. I have an idea of what's going on where, and you know where I can stop some of it. Now, typically I won't erase as much, but I'm erasing a lot today because this is going to be pretty interesting. So I'm going to say shadow, just a little bit of shadow here, right? Not too much. I'm gonna leave this area right here. Just put a little bit of lines here for detail. Yeah, I kind of like putting details like right around this area. I'm just gonna leave these shadows for now. I'll come back and get them later. So this video might be longer than usual, so bear with me. Here we go now for Captain America. We're gonna do the eyes, right? And for this guy, I'm just gonna do like a triangle here for the nose, right? And I'm just gonna do this little edge right here on the outside. I'm done. Not gonna overthink it. I'm not gonna draw any lines directly all the way up to his face. Again, I always think a lot of times something that a lot of people do when they're drawing and they're just getting into it, especially kids, they kind of draw the noses, like want to put like two sides going all the way up. I tend to tell people, hey, if as much as you can avoid it, try not to do it. Try to leave, like just try not to do it. It's just, I just think it's a bad habit, especially for certain types of, I have not seen a drawing where I think it's ever needed, but which is like, I can't even do it because I don't really like it. So, and you guys want to make sure that things make sense in terms of size, because once they don't, it becomes really difficult for Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter. Once you're sketching, that's the first thing you want to make sure you're doing. Like, you're not playing around doing this thing. You're really just pulling the lines, line over line. You're keeping up with either my speed or your, especially today, I'm moving really slow. I think I'm moving. This channel is pretty slow for how I typically sketch. I've been out of practice for a while. I haven't really, I'll be completely honest, I haven't drawn quite as much as I used to in past years. So I'm out of practice right now. But and I've not been keeping up with comics since I was like younger. So I'm really out of it. But I still love it. I still love it. I still love watching some great artists do it. So I'll tell anyone, you know, it's not a bad thing to get into, and it's pretty good. I love going to best comic convention I went to was in New York many years ago. I went there a few times. Really good. Went to a lot of local conventions. Not really my scene, but some of them are okay. So you can find local conventions in your city, and if you're a kid, you can. It may be a nice thing for you to do with your mom and dad or your parents or whatever. You guys get to go out and do some cool stuff, fun stuff, right? So right now here you see me doing the canine again, right? And the teeth. Notice I'm not gonna draw every single thing. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna say his eyes are a little bit like that, and I'm gonna leave it. And okay, the Hulk. So again, same thing, rule applies. I'm gonna put the nose up for a little bit for Hulk. I'm gonna say he's more, I'm gonna put the nose up. I'm gonna open, like these two guys had their mouth like that. I'm gonna open his mouth a little bit more to be like, he's more angry. He's like, you know, Hulk smash or whatever. So I'm gonna play around with that concept a little bit. So, yep. So notice I'm gonna draw the eyes right here. I'm not worried as much about it. And again, everything is basically in proportionate lines. Same thing here. Guys, if you guys, I'm going to go back to the original, like the basic of how to become really good at sketching stuff like this. Cause I can do this all day and show people how to do it, but I need to show you like, these are the fundamentals that will make you really good. And if you do these every day, they will make you really, really good. And to be honest, it's not hard. And I can do just that. And I will do a few of those videos and maybe put, again, something I've been a little lazy on is I make a lot of great handouts that people can practice from and tutorials. And maybe that's something I can possibly post online that can that you can do it. And again, I probably am better at doing that than doing this stuff, because I just grab a pen and I can make a handout and sketch everything out without worrying about anything, you know. It's a lot more freedom there for me. So you guys just have to let me know if you want that or not. So, yep, I'll try to put more videos online coming soon. So again, I don't want to get too much into detail because I don't want to be caught in any one direction. So I want to just sketch everything out, right? So now I'm going to put the hair. For Hulk, I'm going to say he's angry. I like to just put the hair starting from the root, and I like to just pull things randomly in the direction that it may go, because you never know. Sometimes these lines may create, for me, I always say it creates a whole different level of movement in the way I see and interpret it. That can make something surprisingly nice, and I'm giving it a chance to for imperfections to create beauty. So there we go. So I like to do that a lot with the hair when I'm doing it from my own artwork. If I'm copying something that someone wants me to do, that's different, but that rarely ever happens when I'm doing comics. I'm usually making stuff up or just drawing it on the spot, just trying to make people happy. If I can make one person happy a day, I'm cool with that. I'll draw, and you have the paper and the tools, I'll draw it right there. It's not a big deal. Okay, so here we go. So I'll go with that. Right. Now, in order for you to know how to draw the body and the muscular system, like the way I'm just moving lines around, I'm still practicing this, but I always tell people draw this muscular system, and that would be it. And the best books to go and get them from are like biology books, people nursing books, if you see those around, stuff like that. Those are awesome tools. All right, so the first character I'm gonna, now we wrap the sketch down. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is the details. So the first character I'm going to detail is going to be Wolverine. So Wolverine here is not wearing a mask. So the first thing I'm going to start with, I like to work with, is the eyes. So I'm going to use my eraser a lot more than I typically would. And look at that. So now I'm going to just work on the eyes. And I'm going to erase this area to clean that up. So there you go. So that will be the Wolverine I like. And then let's go and do this part here. All right. Notice I'm actually going into the details. Now, something I like to tell people is when you're detailing, I would like to tell people to work with like a pencil lead of like F lead or something like that. And even sketching a lighter lead. But if all you have is like what I have is an HB, that's fine too. It's just, you have to learn how to control it. So here I'm just gonna shade all of this in. And this pencil is like making me focus a lot more because the point is so thin and everything else. So I have to focus on like exactly what I'm doing a little bit more. Typically I would just brush over a lot of stuff. And all of this gotta be erased. And now you can go ahead and put like singular detail for the hair, you know, or you can always, I always say you can always come back and detail more areas. One thing you try not to do, guys, is not put too much detail in anything that you do, especially this type of art. It could just be overwhelming sometimes. And sometimes I have to tell myself not to do that. Because sometimes you want to really do a good job. And sometimes you just want to be like, okay, I can leave it. I'm just going to turn all this here into black. Because the main goal is, we can tell it's here. So I'm going to highlight it. And just try to shade it into black, into like a grayish art so everyone can tell it's here. That's the main goal. People should look at your artwork, tell what it is, and be like, okay, you did this, you know, and if they don't have anything negative to say, or about you needing to fix this or needing to fix that, then that's good. If it's like, yeah. And if you're not, and if you hear from one person, I would take it with a grain of salt, but you hearing the same thing from a lot of people, then you know it's telling you it's true. So, because especially if those people didn't talk about it before they met you, yeah, it's an obvious thing that you are making a mistake that you need to fix or you need to work on. And that's just things that will happen from time to time. You know, it's just sometimes we all have bad habits or things we can't see that other people can see for us, and that's why they exist. Okay, so here we go. And we're just doing this, keep drawing. more and more stuff. All right. And now here's where I'm gonna go into a little detail, like the hatching. So again, it's just parallel lines. As I want the line to get like a darker, I bring the lines a lot closer. So simple little things like that. I try not to do too much of that stuff when I'm drawing. So that's just me. Here for Wolverine, I'll put like, and I wish, this is where I wish I had a bigger pencil that I can like put the hair in bigger strands, but since this is so tiny, it's like, so this is why you want to always have like maybe different pencils around, but I think a 0.4 or 0.5 is perfect sometimes, but when you're sketching, it really doesn't matter. It's just practice work. Today, I'm just finally gonna say, okay, let's go and do a little bit more than what I typically would do. So here you see all these little sketchy lines, kind of just add the detail in for you. You don't have to chase it, you know. That's why you leave some of that there, right? All of it is decisions that you have to make on how you want your artwork to look. Even around the eyes, you want it to show more tension, you can put more detail around the eyes, things like that. But again, you don't want to do too much detail. So how much is enough? That's a very good judgment call that you have to make. And the ears, I always draw ears, the comics the same, except for like occasionally I consider like if I'm using reference material or not, but for the most part they're gonna be the same, just change of angle. And as you keep drawing more and more, it's gonna be, if it becomes a problem, it's gonna be a problem that you have to solve, and that's all that it really means. It doesn't mean anything more than that. And you guys are gonna be fine. Once you're sketching, that's the most important thing. Once you're sketching, your skills will become better. All you're doing after that is placement and practice and placement and practice and placement and practice. And after that, that's all you're doing. It's nothing more than that. Then you're gonna try more advanced stuff like perspectives and more advanced forms in which you can do storytelling and all that good stuff. But until then, this is all you really need to do. You know, you just love sketching. Even if you want to make up a new idea or something, you can work so much faster if you know how to sketch it than if you were like trying to draw it out, because you can sketch it really quickly and you can always go back and that idea is not lost. Because maybe as time goes by, you know, we forget great ideas. So you want to make sure that you're sketching. And you guys see how I did all the sketching prior. So now here, I'm just gonna make this a little darker on the shoulders, right? I'm gonna make this thicker and darker. Why? Because I'm gonna make those like the major outlines area. So here underneath the neck, and here I'm gonna put these little lines right there, right? So I'm gonna put it like Wolverine is right here, right? So voila, almost done. So nothing difficult to do. And again, we want to make sure that these lines are defined, right? Now, if you were working professionally, I would think you would spend more time drawing this and you probably put more, make sure the lines are more cleaner than they are here. Because this is not very clean what I'm doing. not up to my, like, typically I would be super tidy, super clean. You wouldn't even see, you won't see a single sketch line anywhere when I'm done, typically. Or maybe it's not as bad as it is here. That's just me. That's just the way, I don't know how, but that's just the way I draw when I want to. But for some odd reason today, I'm like, yeah, this is a lot more messy than it would typically be. And again, that's just sketching, right? So this channel is a sketching channel. It's not like I show you a final work. I'm going step by step with you guys. And now all we're doing is adding the details in. Now, guys, I can even show you guys how to draw landscapes, and you guys will be surprised how simple that stuff is. And I can show you guys that in like 2 seconds, which would be a pretty cool idea for me to do too. Landscapes and stuff like that. And then maybe I will even do paintings or something like that. But this is a sketching channel. So I gotta remind myself that I don't need to teach all that stuff, but some of that will be helpful towards helping you sketch better. Believe it or not, painting will help you understand shadows and things of that nature, and drawing and shape and values and painting. Yeah, so you will definitely, I will definitely go and check that stuff out later, but not right now. So again, I did a little bit of hatching detail. I just think it's just subtle enough where it's not, it's a lot of detail, but it's not too overwhelming. And yeah, so I just left it at that point. I'm not gonna go like to the point of overwhelming people too much. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. Okay. All right. So we're done with the Wolverine. I'm gonna say right now, for now, I'm done with the Wolverine. Now maybe I'll feel a certain way later when I come back from Wolverine. So my second character that I like here so far is the Hulk. I like the expression. I like the way the hair is going, right? So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go to the Hulk, and I'm gonna work on some details here with the Hulk, right? So here we're gonna go with the Hulk, and we're gonna start adding detail right here, right? So, and the Hulk, I think I can finish this pretty quickly, but hey, you know, you want to make sure you're spending a decent amount of time sketching. And again, most of this is just clean up. The work has basically already been done for the Hulk, because I'm not going to over detail this, because again, things go back in space. You're not going to see them quite as big. They're going to be smaller. Smaller things need less detail, right? Maybe you can do a lot, like you don't want to over detail it again. So, and you want to just basically get the shapes in there. We can tell he's angry, right? You can tell the shape is the Hulk, right? So we want to get that down. You can tell this is the teeth, right? And I kind of give him like gorilla's kind of teeth. So let's go back and change a few features here. I like these huge teeth for some odd reason for him. So, because I mean, he did transform, so I kind of like this, all right? And we're gonna come all the way over here. You see how this is here? We're gonna sketch this all the way down, right? And voila. So when I show people how to sketch stuff, I don't show them how to sketch one thing. I want you guys to go ahead and practice sketching anything. See a butterfly that you like, you sketch it. But I have not shown, I feel kind of guilty for not showing you guys the real base fundamentals of still life. And I think I'm gonna do those videos maybe tomorrow. Because I think that's more needed than anything else. Maybe I'll do another video sometime this week with that. Because still life is like, we definitely need to know the basics. And I think, you know, more stuff you draw, animate, everything, the better you are at drawing. But the rules never change. The anatomy, where things are, the sketching, none of it ever changes. It's the same thing. So that's something that you got to keep in mind. So I'm just going to go through this really quickly, because, yeah. I felt like I've never spent this much time drawing on video yet. This is the most I've ever done it. So this is kind of new to me. So I can go right here. Alright. Since his eyes are going in that direction, I'm gonna say like that. dot right there. And you get that anger, right? The Hulk, right? You could put a little bit of detail in there. You can even bring down stuff in here. You can even like put some of that outside the mouth, but you know, like when people are spitting and they're angry, you can show movement that way too in your artwork without putting extreme amounts of lines. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. So I always try to tell people, teach people like, hey, if I'm doing that, that's what I would want you guys to do. All right, so simple and easy, voila. And over here, I'm just gonna shade all of this darker on this side, just make it easier. So yeah, that's one thing about fine point pencils, they're gonna break often. So these pencils are gonna break very steady. So that's something you have to keep in mind. And even this little detail here, the shoulders, you know. So I know I'm going back towards the Wolverine. I'm working back and forward. I do it all the time. I don't know why. Once it's on the paper and I see a little something I can change or add or take out, I do it all the time. I just add, take out. I step away from it. Sometimes I squint my eyes and I look, you know, and I do that all the time. Yeah, and I look and I'm just like, okay, I need to change this or I need to change that. So that's something I tend to do a lot. So that's just me personally. So yeah, this 32 minutes I've been drawing so far. So that's quite a while for me. I've spent 32 minutes drawing in a long time. I'm more so currently working on stuff on the computer, software and stuff like that. So I spend most of my time doing that stuff, but I still miss art and I still love it. And I love watching other people do it. Finally watching people like learn how to sketch and see how their entire mindset change. It's like learning a new language, kind of. I don't know, but just watching how they learn, when they learn, finally got it, and they're like, oh, I can sketch this, or they don't really know their limitations and they're just getting better. It's a beautiful thing to watch, because you know, no one really, especially when they're young, no one really knows their potential. They're just having fun, and that's what I want people to do. Just have fun drawing. The quicker you find it, the better for you. See Hulk looks like that. Now we can just leave it, because you don't really, when you have a really good sketch and everything just looks right, like the way the Hulk looked, you don't need to put too much detail in there to ruin it. Like that's what I always tell people. Like sometimes too much detail can ruin a drawing. Just put a little touch. That's it. Just like a slight touch, and you want to make sure that the expression is being felt. That's it. You don't want to do too much, because then you can ruin the artwork. So I'm gonna leave that there, right? Not gonna come back and touch it again, because again, I'm just showing you guys how to do like multiple characters and not having fear. And maybe you guys, this is your first one with me. I can go back and fix the Wolverine a little bit more, make him look really like Wolverine, because he looked like a skinny Wolverine. So we can beef this guy up a bit. All right, Cap. So this guy right here is, who do we have here? We have Captain America, right? So guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna work on Captain America by doing this right here. Gonna do the ears. Right? So boom, that's done. the fingers here, you can even put a little shadow underneath here. We'll get around to that. I know my mind is constantly, I see this, I'm gonna work with this, that, everything else. So I'll get back to that. Here we go. So this part right here, right? I guess he's crouching with the shield. I don't know. Right? So I'm drawing this stuff. I don't have a story here. I'm just drawing it, right? So I'm just gonna erase some of this. Don't like the way it looked. So again, concept sketch is sometimes a little different than what you're gonna really have in the front. Like not everything's gonna be completely copied exactly. You may make a change here or there. Most times, most people don't even know. Oh my gosh. All right, so here we go. It's a very nice, there we go. So you get that done. Now, just outline this area, right? So, since this is Captain America, the letter A is on his head, so I'm just gonna try to do that. Now, typically, if I were doing this under any other circumstance, I would typically just use a ruler. I don't know why all of a sudden it got really dark in here. Natural sunlight just starting to go away, which is odd. So, yeah. Okay, guys, I'm trying to get the light back on, but I guess it's okay. Once we can see, we're gonna draw. Right? It's nothing gonna stop us. So here we go. And here we're gonna draw right underneath here. So you see that little, we're gonna kind of make this a little darker, right? So it seems like it's on him. And then we're gonna come right back out here for that part. So since I have the most of it done, I'm gonna try to make the eyes a little bit not as villainous as his eyes look here. So I kind of like this pencil, but I think it can be a little shaky and less sturdy than what I'm used to. So again, I don't think it's a big deal. It's pencil is pencil. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, if you guys are watching, you don't need a special pencil to draw with. The most important thing is you can sketch. It doesn't matter. Because if you can't sketch, different pencil really doesn't matter. It's not going to make you any better. I don't care who you are. If you play basketball, wearing the Jordan is not going to make you play better. You either can play or you can't play like Jordan. Period. So the idea is ridiculous. So the pencil can't improve. Well, for certain people, you'll have a preference after a number of years if you're doing this for a while. But that's it. That's the most I can tell you. Everyone's gonna have what they like, and that's what they're gonna do. So here we go. So yep. So that's how simple Captain America is. The hands here and the fingers. Again, if you know on the shield, it's pretty simple. Now, if I were to draw like actual fingers, say he was in a real combat situation, and the finger here came off, and this was like open, that's all I would do is draw a little piece of that, and that like that, so it looks like it tore off or whatever. So that's all I would do. You know, like I'm not overthinking anything. Here I would do this and I would leave that, right? And if I want to make it look like the light is coming from here, so this finger's shadow will change to go somewhere over here, somewhere like that, right? But let's not overthink this. This is basic. That's why I always tell people it's good to know where shadows are coming from. We're gonna do a whole, I'm gonna try doing more videos where it's more intense and actually teaching people how to do this more than I am already. So I'm almost done, but I still am not satisfied with the Wolverine as much, right? And basically, if you sketch your drawing really well, the detail is just, you don't even need to sometimes go back and add as much detail. You can just like clean things up a little bit, the way to your preference. Because so far, for even the Hulk or for Captain America, I didn't do much changes. I just did slight touches here and there, and that's all I did to get Captain America and the Hulk. So the one that's really been the main guy has been Wolverine. He's been the guy I spent the most time on. So I can think of a million other things to do with Wolverine, but yeah, I think Captain America has a star on the helmet, so I'm gonna put like a little star right here. And again, notice how I'm sketching everything out, I'm not drawing anything, right? And the details can come, right? See that? So, not bad for, how long was that? Is it an hour yet? 42 minutes of work. Not bad for 42 minutes. This is what we have here. Uh, Actually, it looks a lot better close up than when it's far away. Hulk and Hulk, Wolverine, and Captain America. So again, it looks really, really good up close as opposed to far away. And now we're gonna do a little bit. I personally feel like I can do a million other things. Now, will I show you guys how to do still life? Not still life. Will I show you, I'm gonna show you guys how to do like landscapes. So maybe you guys want to do your own story, and that will not take a very long time. All right, boys and girls, and everyone watching, mom, dads, parents, everyone. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend and enjoy your week. Till next time, from Speed Sketch. Bye.